Hello everyone, myself Pankaj Durode. Let us continue our discussion with deadlock avoidance. I hope all of you have seen my previous video on deadlock prevention. The people who have not viewed that video, I request to view the video before watching out deadlock avoidance, because deadlock avoidance, it is one of the deadlock handling method, right, amongst four deadlock handling methods, and out of that the first method was deadlock prevention, right, and that is what I have explained in my previous video. So please look the video of deadlock prevention and then go for watching the video of deadlock avoidance. Now here in this video, right, I will going to cover two different contents. They are deadlock detection and recovery. So this is one of the deadlock handling method, as we know, and deadlock avoidance. To keep the name small, I have just given the name for this video as deadlock avoidance, but here I will going to cover two major contents. So let us start. Now in deadlock detection and recovery, right, so we have already said that the deadlock prevention, it is always a preferable solution, right, because before the problem arises, right, we should be in a position to solve that problem. This is the normal strategy that everyone uses. Now but probably we have not used that strategy, right, and then the deadlock have arisen in the operating system because of the four basic conditions that we have discussed earlier, right. So we are now in a scenario that the deadlock is there inside the operating system, and now we need to detect that the deadlock is there, and the second step that we sure need to do, it is recovery from the deadlock, right. So when we are talking about deadlock detection and recovery, here we are using a method known as wait for graph method, right. Now what is this wait for graph method? It is an enhanced version of resource allocation graph, right, in which we do not show the resources, right. To understand this in a better way, so let us consider the diagram beside of resource allocation graph. Now here in this resource allocation graph, we are observing that P1 is connected with a resource R1, right. Now R1 resource is connected with a process P2, right. Process P2 is connected with resource R3, right. R3 resource is connected with process P5, and so on. So processes and resources are connected with each other, right. So the resources are held by the processes. This is what is the scenario in this resource allocation graph. Now this is the first scenario which is generally observed when we are talking about operating system. Now in this wait for graph method, right, what we are doing basically, we are not showing the resources. Means what we will show? We will show the processes connection with each other only, and this is only for the purpose of we are interested in watching which process is dependent on which process, so that if there is a cycle that is getting formed amongst the processes, it can be easily viewed. And now if there is a cycle, then the processes are going into the deadlock, that we already know. But what is happening in the resource allocation graph diagram? Here, because there are many processes and many resources, the dependencies amongst the processes cannot be observed. So we are actually eliminating the resources from resource allocation graph, and this will give this will automatically generate wait for graph method, right. Now So it is called as an enhanced version of resource allocation graph, in which we do not show the resources. If all the resources have single instances and the cycle is being formed, then the system is in deadlock, right? So what is meant by single instance over here? Single instance is use of that resource for once, right? So that particular resource, it may happen that that resource is used for more than once, right? Now if the cycle is there but the resources have more than one instances, then the deadlock may be or may not be present, right? If there is a cycle, right, and resource have more than one instances, right, so here it is not so. Here in this wait for graph method, we always have a single instance. And now when we will go for the Banker's safety algorithm, there more than one instances for a resource are present, and where we can actually solve the deadlock easily. Now what is the wait for graph method? See, in resource allocation graph, if we are eliminating the resources R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, right, so the beside diagram can be easily observed. What is there in the beside diagram? See, P1 is connected with P2, P2 is connected with P5, P2 is also connected with P3, P3 is connected with P4, P4 is connected with the P1. So if I could remove all the resources, then resource allocation graph can be converted into wait for graph method. It is as simple as that one, right? So here this is the method used for deadlock detection and recovery, right? So now we will move for the next concept, that is deadlock avoidance. Now let us start our discussion with deadlock avoidance, right? Now here in the deadlock avoidance, right, we are using a Banker's safety algorithm, right? So I have copied my notes over here, right? So this is a Banker's algorithm or Banker's safety algorithm, right? So let us start discussing this algorithm, and now this algorithm we will going to see with the help of a problem. So with the help of that problem, right, the Banker's algorithm will be more clear for sure. Now let us learn about some theoretical part of Banker's algorithm. See, Banker's algorithm handles multiple instances of same resource, right? Now in the previous wait for graph method, we were only focusing on the single instance. So single instance will going to generate a cycle. So in previous diagram, you can easily observe that the cycle was generated. See, P1, P2, P3, P4 and P1. So here cycle is generated, right? So there is a deadlock, right? So now we are more interested in solving the problem of the deadlock. So that can be done with the help of, so rather in deadlock avoidance, we are avoiding the deadlock by finding out the safe sequence of the processes, right, so that the cycle will not get formed. And now when the cycle will not get formed, if for a resource there will be more than one instances, right? So now for applying Banker's algorithm, three things should be known in advance. What are they? How many instances of each resource each process can maximum request. So we are taking here one array that is known as a max array, which is basically a two-dimensional array. Second requirement for Banker's algorithm is how many instances of each resource each process currently holds. This is known as allocation. Third one is how many instances of each resource is available in the system. So this is known as available array. Now these arrays we will be using in our problem, so that the things will be very clear. Now friends, for Banker's algorithm, the name is given as Banker's safety algorithm, right? It is because it is used in banking systems, right? So that it should be never run out of money, right? So bank should always be in a safe state. It never happens that we are requesting some money, right, debiting some money out of a bank, and the bank persons are telling you that we don't have a money. So bank is always in a situation that it is in a safety state, and where this algorithm is basically used. So let us learn this algorithm. So that will be very very essential that we should go with this problem for Banker's safety algorithm. Now here the question is given that there are 5 different processes, right? P0, P1, P2, P3, P4. Allocation is given. Allocation, it is for A, B, C, D. Now these A, B, C, D are basically resource types. So resource types may be printer. A might be printer, B may be CPU, C may be memory, D maybe a scanner. And the numbers in front of the processes are the instances of those resources. So 0 means 0 instance, 0 access. 1 means 1 instance, 1 access. 2 instances, 2 accesses, right? So then there is a max array, as we have discussed, right? So the max array, the numbers are mentioned over here. Now the availability for P0 process for ABCD is given. Now we are supposed to find out the availability for another processes, right? Now in exam the question is coming like, what is the need matrix? Is the system is in the safe state? If yes, find out the safe sequence. These are the questions. So now guys, here allocation, max and available, these are arrays, right? So allocation is how many instances of each resource each process can maximum request. So this is a max array, right? How many instances of each resource each process currently holds. This is allocation. And last is how many instances of each resource is available in the system. That is available. Now what is a safe state? By applying the Banker's algorithm, all the processes can be executed without going into unsafe state. So we will be ensuring them with the help of solving the problem, right? So here guys, we need to find out one column, that is a need, right? Need for those processes, and need is found out with the formula max minus allocation. So here I have calculated the values, right? So you please check them out with the help of the formula max minus allocation. So let us continue solving the problem. So here we are solving the problem, right? This is the Banker's safety algorithm, wherein processes are given, allocation matrix is given, max matrix is given. Now we have calculated the need. I have copied the number from the previous page, right? With the same formula max minus allocation. So here we will actually verify that. For need. So now let us concentrate everyone on the need column. So in need column, for P0 process, right, the formula is max minus allocation. So if I will subtract max ABCD, right, allocation ABCD resources from max ABCD resources, right? So I will get the answer as 0 0 0 0, because see 0 0 1 2 0 0 1 2, are the resources, right? Now for process P1, let us subtract 1 from 1. I will get value 0, then 750 I have got. Again come to process P2, right? For max column we have value 2, 3, 5, 6. From them I will going to subtract 1, 3, 5, 4. Right, I will get the answer 1, 0, 0, 2. Now for the process P3, I have the values 0, 6, 5, 2, from which I will going to subtract 0, 6, 3, 2. So I will get 0, 0, 2 and 0, right? And last is P4, wherein 0 minus 0, 0, 6 minus 0, 6, 5 minus 1, 4, and 6 minus 4, 2. Right, so have we got the answers for need column? Now your final responsibility is to calculate the available resources, right? So available resources will be, right, as I have mentioned above, we always add allocation in the available resources, right, to get the available resources. So available will become available plus allocation, right? Now see guys, 1520 it is given to us, right? Now we are checking that the need for P0 was 0000 and the available resources for P0 were 1520. So I am respectively talking for A, B, C and D resources. Here it is clear for all the remaining processes. So with 1520, 0000 can be easily considered because 0000 are less than 0, 5, 2 and 0 or equals to. So I will say that while finding out the safe sequence, P0 will come as the answer as a first process, right? So that is what I have written at the bottom, right? You can easily observe that at the bottom in the answer I have written P0 first, right? Now let us come to P1. So for P1, right, I have 0750, right? Now if I compare this with 1520, right, so 7 is greater than 5, right? Even 5 is greater than 2. So I cannot give the chance for P1 here in the safe sequence because available with me was 1520 and need was more than available resources. So here if you we need to compare every single resource. So this need cannot be fulfilled. So let us guys move for the next process, that is P2, right? So before moving for P2, right, now we can observe like 1002 is the requirement, right? And now I need to go for calculating the availability, right, in next stage. In next stage what I am doing, available is equals to available plus allocation. Now I am adding the available column here with the allocation column. So for P0, right, allocation were 0012, right, and available was 1520. So let us add them all. I will get the answer 1532, right? Now for 1532, right, now I will compare this 1532 with 1002. So here I will observe that 1002 is less than 1532, right? So I will take P2 for safe sequence because see 1 is is equal to or less than 1, 0 is less than 5, 0 is less than 3, and 2 is equal to 2. So here in the safe sequence I can say that the need can be fulfilled. Right. Now again I will move for next, that is P3 for checking out, and now I will go for calculating the for P2, right, the available column. Now what I am doing over here, see, I am adding 1532 with, right, 1354, not with P1, because P1 we have not considered into a safe sequence. So if I am adding 1532 with 1354, what answer I am getting? It is 2, 8, 8 and 6, right? So that is what I have written over there. 2886 can be compared with 0020. So 0020 sequence is less than 2886, right? So this need can be fulfilled. So P3 I am taking into a safe sequence. Right. Now I am again moving for available next calculation, that is I am adding 2886 with the P3 allocation sequence, that is 0632, right? So let us add, guys, 2886 with 0632, right? I am getting the answer, that is 2, right, then 14, then 11 and then 8, correct, right? Now I am moving for the last process. The last process is need is 0642. So this is 0642 need, which can be easily fulfilled with 2, 14, 11 and 8, right? So P4 will again come in the safe sequence. So P0, P2, P3, P4 are in the safe sequence, right? And now I am getting the answer by adding 2, 14, 11 and 8 with 0014, right? So the answer is 2, 14, 12 and 12. Now the last thing that was remaining was the last process, which we have not considered into a safe sequence, right? So that was 07 that was the P1 process whose need was 0750. Now 0750, this need, will it be fulfilled with the help of 2, 14, 12 and 12 now availability? Yes, very sure it can be fulfilled, because it is less than 2, 14, 12 and 12 sequence availability at the last. So now what I will do, I will consider P1 in the safe sequence as a last process, and at the last, for calculating the final answer for availability of the resources, I will going to add 2, 14, 12 and 12 with the allocation column of P1, that is 2, 14, 12 and 12. And yes, this is the answer, right? So the final answer for available resources for A, B, C, D will be 3, 14, 12 and 12, right? And the safe sequence will be P0, P2, P3, P4 and P1. So here, with the multiple instances of the resources, the deadlock can be easily avoided, and this is what is, guys, deadlock avoidance, right? And in the similar language, it is finding out the safe sequence for the processes. Thank you.